This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, but also getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. You can find a link to our playlist in the show notes. Welcome to episode 56. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Harper Bloom. The Melbourne via Perth singer-songwriter has just released her debut EP entitled Faith, Sex and Skin. In today's episode, we're talking about the art of subtlety in songwriting, returning to play shows, and the music of Al Green and Neil Diamond. Here we go. Our guest today is an exciting new singer-songwriter who resides in Melbourne, Australia. She's just released her debut EP entitled Faith, Sex and Skin and is about to head out on tour this week to support the EP. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Harper Bloom. Good morning.
Good morning, Simon. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
No, my pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. As we just discussed, you are joining us from Melbourne today and it is in the middle of lockdown. How are you holding up?
Going okay. A bit more positive this time round after what happened last year and just seeing all the contact tracing, that's the word, and how they're able to get on top of it and, sort of see all the rings of all the links. And, so hopefully it's just going to be the 2 weeks and then we'll be back out and playing live music again. Were
you in Perth like at the start of COVID originally, or were you in Melbourne?
No, I was in Melbourne. I came over here late 2019. I was in Melbourne for the whole of the lockdown, and then I managed to get out at the end of last year for a couple of months. Just as we sort of started opening up again, I went back home to Perth because I'm originally from Perth, and was able to play my first shows since March. It was a nice feeling.
What was that experience like in terms of you're a musician, and I know that beforehand you were playing shows like overseas and everywhere. What was it like being able to step back on stage for that first time?
It was really nice because, I was playing as a band. I just got my band together and we just started doing our first performances together, and then lockdown hit. So I found during lockdown I was doing a lot of those sort of live concert streams from my lounge room back just solo again. So it was like, going a bit backwards here, but it's always nice to play intimately and acoustically. I guess once I went back to Perth, my band couldn't come with me because they're not from Perth. I was just playing a few acoustic shows, but it was just nice to be back on stage and sort of getting an audience live reaction again and, getting the audience involved and everything. So, it was great.
Of course, I can, there is kind of touching on what you said, I know that we were lucky enough to have Isolade here in Australia, and there's been live stream after live stream, and it's cool, and it keeps people entertained and it keeps the artists engaged, but I feel like there is nothing like the chemistry of an actual gig.
Yeah, I really like to get the audience sort of involved and singing along and clapping along. I think that makes it sort of a vibrant and fun show.
the debut EP, Faith, Sex and Skin, is out now. Congratulations. I feel like this has been somewhat of a long time in the works.
Yeah, it definitely has been.
What's it like having these songs out now and finally having it out in the world?
It's really good. So I started recording these songs in 2019, and then they were supposed to be released last year, the whole EP, but because of what happened with COVID, we just started releasing singles instead of the whole EP, and I ended up recording a bunch of more songs last year. So then I had a lot more selection to choose from to put the EP together. And I ended up picking what I thought was the 6 sort of more honest and best reflection of me sort of songs and to put into the EP, and that they just flowed really well. And yeah, so that will be coming out on the 18th of June, and I'm really excited to have it out in the world, have my debut EP out.
It's the sound of the EP is great. It's Australiana, it's folky. There's like little touches, little touches of like electronic. I don't even want to say electro because it makes it sound like too like EDM or something. But when you're sitting down to write your music, what is inspiring you when you're kind of sitting down to write these songs?
I think most of the time it's sort of true life experiences, and I think that comes across maybe the best because it's the most honest, and it's something I've seen or felt that is true to me, and I feel like that connects more than sort of making up something that might not be true. So yeah, I've found all my favourite songs and the songs that seem to connect the best live, and also when people hear them, I always get the best reaction from songs that I've written that are from true experiences. So yeah, I guess just life experiences, and then I sit down and you sort of feel an emotion, and that gets you to start writing.
That's very cool. I feel like a lot of artists, I feel like it's always been throughout time that they've written from true emotions, but I feel that you can make better connections with fans when it does have that genuine kind of nature to the songs and to the lyrics as well.
Yeah, I think, being genuine is what sort of gets it over the line. In the end, I've found the songs that are most genuine are the ones that people connect with more so far.
Yeah, definitely. From what I understand, you originally started playing the guitar from a young age because, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because your dad was a Bob Dylan fan.
Oh, yeah.
Or you started playing Bob Dylan songs because your dad's a fan.
Yeah, he's so obsessed. He still is to this day. And my mum's not the biggest fan, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, that's what got me into playing guitar, his obsession with Bob Dylan, and I think he sort of wanted me to play his songs.
What was the first one that your dad was like, come on, like this is the song you have to learn, this is the one that you have to have in the repertoire?
I think Not Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is like 3 chords, so that's it's 3 chords and it's really simple, but that sort of inspired the whole, you might not have to play a whole heap of different chords and you might not need a huge technical knowledge, but as long as you're saying something that's honest and true to you with the music, then people will enjoy it. So yeah, that's what I got from Bob Dylan anyway.
I think that's, if you can learn any lesson from Bob Dylan, I think that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty decent one. Yeah. Similar to Bob Dylan, I know that I'm drawing a line here, but that you previously had played a bunch of shows in New York and had started to, play some gigs over there. I guess, what was that experience like? Were you over there doing music to begin with, or were you over there for another reason and music just kind of happened as well?
I was actually over there because my girlfriend got an internship with the UN, and so I flew over there I just finished my degree, and so I flew over there and I couldn't get a job or anything. So I just took my guitar with me, and I was planning to busk because I was incredibly poor at the time. But then I saw these open mic nights, and my girlfriend encouraged me to go and perform some of my songs because I had a few originals that I'd never played in public before. So the first one I was too scared. I ended up leaving, but then my girlfriend was like, just do it, bite the bullet. And so after the first one, it just made me want to do more and more. And I think being in New York as well, there's something about that that's really inspiring. A lot of great artists come from New York, so yeah.
Definitely. Was there any difference in crowds that you kind of noticed between Australian crowds and crowds in New York?
Well, I was only playing open mic nights in New York, so there wasn't huge crowds there really. It was 20 to 30 people. But the open mic nights that I played at, they were all very much storytelling, and they were in quite sort of beautiful and intimate bars or churches, and so people just sort of were there to listen, and they really listened, which was nice. So yeah, it's funny because I'd say when I went back to Perth, it's probably people just sort of talk and were drinking, and you're just almost background music. But yeah, I found New York they were definitely listening.
No, that's very cool. I imagine, yeah, it would be an incredible experience just to, even if it's only to 20 or 30, still very cool to be able to play in New York and, test the waters, if you will.
Yeah, test out the material.
Yeah, exactly. Walk My Way has been a big hit from the EP, been played on Triple J. The song, to my understanding, is a song about overcoming self-doubt within a relationship, and it's quite upbeat and sunny. What was the catalyst for this song?
Thank you for that. I'm glad you like it as well. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I was just playing around with this very simple chord progression, and then just the whole chorus sort of fell out of my mouth, and I got really excited. I felt this sort of excitement, and I've read before that that's a good sign. So anyway, I was really excited about it, and then I didn't really have the verses yet. And then I just thought about, with my girlfriend, she wasn't really into girls before dating me, and it was all about sort of trying my luck and pursuing something that might have landed on my head. But then the whole time, it turned out to be a great thing, and she was also interested in me in the end. So that was the idea of the song, and that's where all the verses sort of came from.
That's very cool. When you write down to when you sit down to write a song, is it something that you'll kind of as you said, sometimes the lyrics will fall out, or is it something where you have a melody or lyrics first and then see what comes out first, or do you have a plan in your mind when you go to write?
Did I hear you're shopping for a car? Because I've been at it for ages. Ugh, such a time suck, right?
Not really. I bought it on Carvana. Super convenient.
Oh, then comes all the financing, research. Am I right?
Well, you can, but I got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but then all the number crunching and terms, right?
Nope. I saw real numbers as I shopped, found my dream car, and got it in a couple of days.
Wait, you already have it?
Yep.
Oh.
Go to Carvana.com to finance your car the convenient way.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
Yeah, that's interesting. At the start, it was definitely lyrics first, and I'd try and construct a narrative or, just a coherent story from different things I'd seen, and I had, I'd write down the idea and then sort of construct a story from there. But then I started doing melody first, and then sort of having the idea of a song, but getting down that melody first and then sort of blending the words in with the melody. And I think that's what I did for Walk My Way. So maybe that's the best way to do it. I don't know. But so it's a bit of trial and error, I guess.
When you are, as you said, it is sometimes the art of songwriting is trial and error. Do you have any tips or tricks for when you're kind of stuck on something, whether it be like a bit of a roadblock on lyrics or something else?
Oh yeah, sometimes I watch movies or read books, and I just take notes on everything that I'm seeing. And I've written a few songs like that where I've just watched a movie and written a song based on everything I've sort of written down whilst watching that movie. And I think they can be quite emotive sometimes, even though it's not your life, it can still make you feel quite emotional. I think that definitely helps with roadblocks.
Well, that's cool. It's it seems to be with everyone that we've spoken to that there's obviously different things work for different people, but it seems to be other art forms that help one another, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is true when you put it like that, actually, definitely.
The EP is called Faith, Sex and Skin. I'm curious where the title came from and I guess what it does mean to you.
The title, I had just watched the movie The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Have you seen that?
I don't think I have.
Oh, you don't? Oh, it's a great movie.
Current movie
I
or
won't spoil
new
it.
one?
It's pretty old. I think maybe it's about 5 to 10 years old now.
Okay.
But it's based on a true story about this boy in Africa. But I won't spoil it for you because it's a really good movie. But basically, after watching that, essentially the movie is about everyone coming together to build something for the better, for the community, everyone sort of working together to have a great outcome. And I just thought, the idea of everyone from different religions or with different sexual identities and different skin colours, sort of instead of coming together to tear each other apart, coming together to build a more kinder and sort of more accepting society. And so that's just, those 3 words just sort of popped into my head because I feel like they cover everyone's differences, but instead of alienating people, to sort of celebrate those differences. And that's the idea of the EP.
That's very cool. That's I like the idea that I feel that these days equality and inclusivity, is that the right word? Inclusivity?
That's how I say it.
Yeah, cool. Is that there should be just things that are out there anyway. Realistically, that there shouldn't be any form of inequality or anything like that. I like that the title is addressing that without being I think sometimes as artists, there's this thing that we all can do, even with it, not artists, but you can be too preachy or too in your face almost. I like that it's inclusive while just kind of being people can take their own interpretations of it or do that kind of thing.
I think it's sort of subtle. It's not trying to throw something down your throat. It's just this is a nice way to be. take it on your sleeve type thing.
Exactly. Do you find like that it's a similar kind of thing with your songs? Have you found that? Because I know that as we said, Walk My Way was about your girlfriend, that you can still have those songs and express who you are and your truth without like how important is it for you to be able to have those songs where you can express your truth but also not be like, as we said, like too preachy or too slapping someone over the head with the information?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like that you said that, because for me, a lot of my songs are love songs, and they're not written to target the same-sex community, but because I'm a girl with a girl writing about love, I guess it does sort of influence that community to be able to want to also share their love with their partner and feel comfortable in doing that. And so I think I try and do it. I don't really try and do it, but because I am in a same-sex relationship, that's the way it comes across. So I'm definitely not trying to send any different messages to other people. I just want same-sex couples to feel accepted and that their love is equal, and that it feels good.
Of course. I feel that and I think it's a lot better than, I don't mean to disrespect Macklemore, and I know I'm going to go on a little bit of like a side tangent here, but like it's I feel like with the LGBT community plus community, that you want love songs that you don't want Macklemore singing about same love. You want songs that are the same as, like, does that make sense? That it's not like a novelty to be it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really sort of pointing anything out. It's just, this is the way we are, and it's okay, like, to be in love with whoever you want to be with. So, anyone could relate to it, really, because it's just about the universal feeling, rather than targeting anyone in particular. It is a great song. It is a fantastic EP. I quickly wanted to ask Harper, we ask all our guests, is there anything that, what are you currently listening to? Is there anything that is getting a thorough workout on your record player or your Spotify or Apple Music?
Actually, I've been listening to Al Green lately. I don't know why. Do you like his like R&B, soul?
Let's stay
it's so
together.
Calming. I wake up. Let's stay together. That's good. So I've been thrashing that, and also I love Neil Diamond. I've got his record, and I just love Cherry Cherry. I just want to listen to it all the time, because it makes me feel so good. So that would be my two.
No, that's nice. That's a solid two. I think that's very good. What was it?
Thank you.
I think my grandma, like, years ago, gave me a copy of, like, a very well-worn Hot August Nights by Neil Diamond, and some absolute classics on that one.
Works.
We tried it, bits and pieces did, but.
Oh, no. Well, that was nice of her to give that to you.
Exactly. It was still a very nice gesture. Harper, thank you very much for being on the podcast today. I do appreciate it, and congratulations again on the EP. I'll make sure that we put that in the notes, the show notes for the podcast, as well as the tour dates as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Simon. You're a legend, and your questions were great. I really appreciated that.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to Harper for her time. Faith, Sex and Skin is out now, and we've left links in the show notes if you'd like to buy tickets to her shows or stream the EP. We also want to give a huge shout out to Shari at Great Company Collective for helping out with today's interview. You can find a link to our Spotify playlist in the show notes, where you'll be able to listen to all of our guests' picks. If you like the show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Thursday and Friday morning, with guest playlists streaming on Spotify at the same time. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off your first order at bollandbranch.com, code BUTTERY. Exclusions apply. See site for details.